I never believed in ghosts. Even now, after everything that happened, I'm not sure that's what it was. But I know one thing. Someone was talking to me from Unit 304, and nobody had lived there for years. 3 years ago, I took a job as a night security guard at a rundown apartment complex called Ashwood Heights. The building stood on the edge of town, surrounded by empty lots and overgrown weeds. It wasn't abandoned, but it felt abandoned. Most tenants kept to themselves. The hallways smelled faintly of dust and old carpet, and half the fluorescent lights flickered constantly. The pay wasn't great, but I needed work. My shift ran from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. For the first few months, nothing unusual happened. Then I started hearing the knocking. Every night at exactly 2:17 a.m. 3 knocks. Not loud, just enough to be noticeable. Knock, knock, knock. The first few times, I assumed it was a tenant. But after checking security cameras, I noticed something strange. The knocks always came from the 3rd floor, near Unit 304, and nobody was ever there. I reviewed footage repeatedly. Nothing. No movement. No visitors. No tenants leaving their apartments. Yet every night at 2:17 a.m., the sound appeared. Always in the same spot. Always 3 knocks. The property manager laughed when I mentioned it. Old pipes, he said. Buildings make noise. I wanted to believe him. Then one night, I heard a voice. It was around 3 a.m. I was sitting at the front desk, scrolling through my phone when the radio clipped. My belt crackled. At first, I thought another guard was trying to contact me. Then I remembered. I was the only guard on duty. The speaker hissed. Static filled the room. Then a voice whispered, "Come upstairs." I froze. The voice sounded distant. Male. Old. Almost like someone speaking through water. I grabbed the radio. Hello? Nothing. More static. Then, 3rd floor. The transmission ended. I checked every channel. Nobody else was connected. No nearby businesses used the same frequency. I convinced myself it was interference, but I couldn't shake the feeling that someone had spoken directly to me. The next night it happened again. 2:17 a.m. 3 knocks. Then the radio activated. Come upstairs. This time I decided to investigate. I took the elevator to the 3rd floor. The hallway was empty. The lights buzzed softly overhead. Everything looked normal. Then I noticed something. Unit 304's door was slightly open. Just an inch. That was impossible. The apartment was vacant. The lock had been changed years earlier. I approached carefully. The gap was dark. No light inside. No movement. I pushed the door open. The apartment was empty. Completely empty. No furniture. No curtains. No belongings. Just bare floors and peeling wallpaper. But something felt wrong. The air was colder inside. Not dramatically colder. Just enough to make me notice. Then I heard breathing behind me. I spun around. Nobody. The apartment remained silent, yet I could swear someone had been standing inches away, watching. I left immediately. The next morning, I asked the property manager about Unit 304. His reaction surprised me. The smile disappeared from his face. For several seconds, he didn't answer. Then he said, "Stay out of that apartment." I laughed. "Why?" "Just do your rounds and leave that unit alone." He walked away. That response bothered me more than anything I'd experienced. A week later, curiosity got the better of me. I searched public records. What I found explained why nobody wanted to discuss Unit 304. 8 years earlier, a tenant named Walter Grayson lived there alone, 74 years old, retired electrician. Then one winter he disappeared. No moving trucks, no goodbye, just gone. His rent payments stopped. Management entered the apartment. It was empty. No signs of struggle. No indication he'd packed. His wallet remained inside. His keys remained inside. Even his shoes were still by the front door. It looked as though he had simply vanished. Police investigated. No answers. The case went cold. The apartment stayed vacant ever since. But after learning Walter's name, the voice changed. The next transmission came at 2:17 a.m. Only this time it said, "You found me." Then, "Look beneath." The following night I entered Unit 304 again. I found a loose floorboard. Beneath it, a metal box. Inside were newspaper clippings, missing persons reports, photographs of residents, then a cassette tape. I played the tape. A man's voice said, "My name is Walter Grayson." He described disappearances in the building, residents vanishing, records being erased. Then the tape cut off mid-sentence. Security footage confirmed something worse. At 2:17 a.m., a shadow appeared in hallways, human-shaped, wrong, and people disappeared after encountering it. The final clip showed it outside Unit 304. Walter opened the door, then black. That night, every security monitor shut off. Power failed. Red emergency lights turned on. The radio crackled. A voice said, "He's here." Then another voice followed. Colder. "Found you." Footsteps echoed above me, but there was no fourth floor. The sound followed me. Then every door on the third floor opened at once. A silhouette stood at the end of the hall. Tall, thin, wrong. Walter's voice screamed through the radio, "Run." I escaped in panic. Elevator doors closed just as a black hand forced its way in. Then everything went dark. I woke up in the lobby surrounded by paramedics. They said I had a panic attack. All footage from that night was gone. Again. I quit the job, moved away, tried to forget. Then a package arrived. No sender, just a cassette tape. Walter's voice said only, "If you're hearing this, it learned my voice." Now sometimes my phone rings at 2:17 a.m. When I answer, I hear 3 knocks. Knock, knock, knock.